All right, I'm from a company called CNC Solar. My business partner, Gary Cannon, and I have realized for some time now that we need to diversify our business. That solar is not the only answer, obviously, for energy efficiency or energy savings. And what we've discovered over 4 years of having this business and 5 or 6 years being in the business is that solar is a sledgehammer approach to the problems of having high energy costs. What we discover, what happens is we meet you on Monday. You say to us, hey, I really like solar. I want to talk to you about solar. That'd be great. So we meet on Monday at a party or an event, and I come and sit down with you on Thursday, or one of our salespeople, Bob or Nancy, come and sit down with you on Thursday, and we say to you, I've got a solution for your energy problems. We can get rid of all your electricity costs for about $350,000. Everybody kind of shakes and they go, whoa, that's a lot of money. So we've discovered it takes some time in order to get a relationship built so people essentially trust us to give us $350,000, $400,000 of their hard-earned money in order to have solar and get rid of their electricity bills. So what we've realized is that we need to, oh, page down, where are you, baby? We need to get a relationship built with our customers. And the idea with that is a total energy management company. The difficulty with it is that we have certain skill sets. We're a small company. And those certain small skill sets and being a small company just gives us so much bandwidth and so much knowledge. And we need to go into industries or businesses that fit our abilities. Because if you don't, I think all of us realize what happens to you. You start to lose focus and bad things happen to you. So, Total Energy Management Company, there's a lot of things we can do in order to get your electricity bills down. And there's a list of things right here, and we probably have another 10 or 15 of them, all right? But what we want to focus on are things that we have strengths in. And LED lighting is where we have the strength, all right? And the reason we feel we have strength in LED lighting is because of the business model of LED lighting. Fits our strength. It's a new technology. That's what we do in solar. We're talking new technologies. The cost of the system, it's a little expensive, and I'm going to go over that in detail. We talk all the time about kilowatt hours, we sell to mid-sized companies, and we do financing. All those things fit into LED lighting. And because I couldn't find another place to put this information right here, I just threw it into this slide right here. We're going to focus on Philips LED lighting, outdoor lighting. Mainly because of the company, because we know when we go to talk to somebody, and we learn this in solar, is that, hey, I have a solar panel that's from Motec, or I have one from Solar World. Well, nobody's ever heard of that. And it holds us back in selling sometimes. But Philips is a brand that people know. So here's an example, and this is kind of strange looking if you look at it for the very first time. This is a car dealership that we spoke to a little bit. And they have about 100 poles. They have about 100 1,000-watt HID or metal halide lamps. All right? They use about 400,000 kilowatt hours per year in electricity. That doesn't mean a whole lot to most of you here, but you can understand, hey, the existing cost is about $60,000. Well, if we were to replace that with LED lighting, with the Philips 1,000-watt replacement bulb, it'd come out to a cost of about $13,000, $14,000. And that's a big difference. There's a big difference there. So why would people not just be running all over this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is a new technology, so they're not sure about it, and that's our solution with Philips. Secondly is it costs a lot of money. Another $130,000 solution. So on Monday I talk to you about LED lighting. Thursday I come and tell you, hey, $130,000, I can get rid of most of your electricity bills. What we've discovered in solar is that those who have the financing win. All right, so that's really key, and that's what we'll be talking about very quickly because obviously I only have 6 minutes here today, so I'm going to go over a very high level. Just a quick little analysis of the difference between the cost. You can see the metal halide costs about $600 per lamp, and the LED costs about $137. And that's based off 10 cents per kilowatt hour. You go up north towards New York, and it's 17 and 18 cents a kilowatt hour. Go into some parts of Maryland, and it's probably 12 or 13. So you can see that the cost difference will be even more dramatic when you start heading into other areas. Here's the big difference, right? We have the cost of a lease at 5 years at 5%, and what we come up with is about $152 difference. So on 100 poles, we're talking $15,000 a year. For 7 years with leasing, we're talking $230. Now, one of the things we've seen in solar is a real drop in cost over the course of the last several years, and we expect that in LED lighting as well. I was at the light show in Philadelphia. It showed there were a lot of people there with LED lighting, and everybody was talking about the cost coming down. So what are the options for us as an organization? We can do traditional financing, all right? And that'll bring in, we think, if we were to be able to expand in a quick way, in a way that we'd like, about $1.5 million in profit over 4 years. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take on the leasing for the customer. I'd like to lease it. It's called a PPA in the world of solar, where we take on the responsibility of the lighting, we take the cost on, and we charge our customer a premium for that. And by doing that, it saves them 10 to 20% on their electricity bills immediately. After 7 years or 5 years, they'll own the property, and it doubles our profit over 4 years. So that's our big idea. That's melding our solar experience with a new industry. And the market size, where can we sell this stuff to? Automobile dealerships is easy. Parking facilities is a great opportunity. Hospitals, colleges, and we think the Mid-Atlantic, maybe not so far out that way, but the Mid-Atlantic region, that's who we are. We're from Delaware. You know, and we're a Mid-Atlantic company, and that's where we install now. We install in Baltimore, Philly, New Jersey, DC, and the such.
Okay.
I think I hit 6 minutes right on the number.
6 minutes is fast, isn't it? Thank you,
Right,
Tom.
holy moly. I would say so.
But don't go anywhere, because
not.
hopefully you can tell us a lot more with the question and answer period. So who has a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Competition. What's your competition in the Mid-Atlantic area?
Right now, there's not a lot of people out there selling LED lights. What we're seeing is that the manufacturers are trying to sell into the customer base. And what they're using right now is a model of, hey, we'll sell you the materials and we'll lease it to you. You go out and you find yourself an electrician. And we think there's a real big opportunity right there to come in with a total package for somebody and say, hey, just work with us and we'll take care of it all. So our competition right now, I'll call them fractured. It's really LED manufacturers. Not only are they're splitting the cost structure, it's also not recognizable. You know, you talk to them and it's companies that you know, an Indian company or a Chinese company, and they have strange names, and you know, we think there's a real good opportunity to come in with a name brand.
Okay, let me tell you that this is recorded, so let me get the mic to you with your questions, okay?
And no cursing, all right?
So are you working with a lot of landscaping companies for that low light effect?
Right now, we're trying to focus on outdoor lighting, the large fixtures. When we start getting into that, we can grow into that because large fixtures will start to give us the experience of lighting, of working with the distributors, and we'll start to understand it. And that's kind of the idea of working in an industry or a product line that's very similar to what we do now.
Okay, who else?
Automobile?
You talked about the lighting process that you showed.
Mm-hmm.
So your customer or client would be?
A car dealership. Yeah, that's a real, car dealerships offer a real good opportunity because they like to keep their lights on for a long time. You know, and the longer the lights are on, the more opportunity we have for savings. Parking lots are another example because they have their lights on 24 hours a day. So that savings spread was also, and I don't think I had it up there, it was based on 4,000 hours, which is overnight lighting. Now what happens in a lot of car dealerships is they're turning their lights off, or they're turning off 3 or 4 lights because they're trying to save money. And a lot of problems with that. One problem is that it doesn't show your product. So if somebody drives by at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're not going to see what you have out on the floor. The second problem is a lot of them are having problems with theft. A lot of problems with theft. So better lighting will allow you to not have, well, hopefully not have as much stuff stolen. Yes.
As far as the comparison in the metal halide versus the LED, in the landscape world, we see a boundary as far as the light frequency. What do you have that you can offer to compare a comfortable light frequency? So, you know, the LED is normally a very bright white, high frequency light versus the metal halide, which is a softer, more yellow light.
More orangey, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They're offering several different types of lights now. You know, the LEDs in the beginning were the bright white lights, and now they're offering a softer color. I want to say it's like 5700 versus 9500 or something, but they're coming out with different lights. The one advantage we have is that the older type of LED light is the bright white light, and that's what most car dealerships like. They like the brighter light because it really shows their product very, very brightly. Again, we're going to try to not get involved in the lower end stuff, and that's probably not a good phrase, but the home stuff for a while until we get our feet wet and really understand it.
Any other questions?
Good morning. Welcome and thank you for sharing with us. Besides the fact that you have a high-end priced item that needs financing, as far as growing your business and trying to get the word out, what kind of obstacles have you faced? What have been some of your biggest challenges?
Well, on the solar side, the biggest challenge is that it's new. You know, we're talking to people that are, what does Malcolm Gladwell call it? The innovators, I think it's called, right? Or I forget the phrase, I'm sorry. But we're talking to the first early adopters right now, and we still are. It's starting to get out there where people are more comfortable with it. What I used to explain it as is, when we first started, I would say air conditioning. I'd say maybe 5% of us in this room have any idea how air conditioning works, but we just know it works, right? We go in every building and there's air conditioning, so we just trust the technology. People weren't trusting the technology with solar. It's pretty simple stuff, but they still were uncomfortable with it, so that was our biggest hurdle, and I expect that same hurdle in LED lighting because it's pretty new. We went through the compact fluorescent phase and people aren't too crazy about it, and they're going to drag over some of their biases about that to LED lighting. So it's going to be a lot of education. And that's, I'd say, our biggest hurdle is we need to educate our customers as much as anything else.
Anybody? Okay. Tom, what can we as a community do to help you and your business?
Well, you can buy solar and you can buy LED lighting. That would be awesome. Right? I think maybe get educated about, for the solar side of my business, just understand it some more. There's a lot of misunderstandings about it. There's plenty of money available from the state. That's one that I've just started to realize people still think there's no money for subsidies. It's a good payback. It's a very stable product. I call it a fire and forget system. You put it up there, the sun shines, and you make money. So getting a little educated about the products that we sell, because we're more cutting edge than your typical business, I would say would help us.
Do you think your biggest business is new construction, or are you doing a lot of like new old businesses renovating their lighting systems and so forth? And do you try to do a whole package? Are you doing LEDs? Are you trying to do a solar system and everything all at one time? Is that any part of the market, I wonder?
It would be nice to do the whole system in one shot. I don't expect too many times for that to happen. The customer is going to have a learning curve with LED. They're going to have a learning curve with solar. So to try to teach them all about all that stuff in one shot while they're trying to run their own business is a lot, I think, is a big hurdle. What we're trying to accomplish is, over the course of time, and this is our first step towards it, is to build a energy management relationship with our customer so that we say to them, hey, I have a good system for demand control. So I have a good system of, hey, let's replace these lights here. A good system of 3M has a nice film for the windows. Let me put those in for a couple $1,000. And as they become comfortable with this and we get to a point where the cost of where it's tougher to save money, we've saved all the money that you can on energy efficiency, then solar will be available to them. They'll understand that we've been in this with them for a long time, and they'll be able to buy. Now, there was a first part of that question. I'm sorry. I didn't answer it. New construction versus people want to change over. New construction. We generally don't do a whole lot of new construction, and what we found is that people have a certain budget. They have $1 million. They have $200,000 They have $200,000 for a house to build. They have $1 million for their new building, for their car dealership, or whatever it might be. And when you talk about solar, it kind of pinches their budget a little bit. And they kind of say, you know, do I get the solar or do I get the new granite tabletops? You know, and they generally go for granite tabletops. Now, it's not always the case with that. And we've done some new construction, but it just, that's just a hurdle that we have to face.
Okay, will that do it? All right, let's
Excellent.
thank Tom for his hard work.